Hi, I'm Mahmoud Behnasi. In this chapter, we will talk about declarative programming. We talked before about the difference between imperative and declarative programming, and we know now that both of them are considered programming paradigms, which are the styles we use while programming. So, in imperative programming, we tell the computer explicitly how to get a desired result by writing a sequence of programming instructions or steps. But in declarative programming, we just state what the result should be or should look like, and that's it. This is an example of declarative programming. Here, this is SQL, structured query language, which is used for databases. Here we're going to say select all from users. That means select all the fields from the users table where the country is equal to Mexico. And this is a condition. So this statement is a kind of declarative programming. How the computer is going to do it, we didn't say it explicitly. We just need to display this kind of result. All the users from the users table where the country or the criteria is equal for the country is equal to Mexico. And that's it. Um, in Visual Basic and Python, we say the sequence explicitly to the computer. So we have to write exact steps how the computer is going to perform it. Okay, how it's going to display it. So that's why Visual Basic and Python are imperative, but SQL is declarative programming. One of the examples of declarative programming languages is Prolog. And another example, as we said before in the previous slide, was SQL. So in this chapter, we will focus on Prolog. Prolog is short for programming logic. Because it depends on the logic. It doesn't depend on sequence of steps that should be followed in that specific order. Um, so it's a high-level declarative programming language based on logic, and like the traditional programming language like Visual Basic or Python or whatever, that are based on performing sequence of commands. Prolog is based on defining and then solving logical formulas. So that means in declarative programming, we have to define the facts. We have to put some of the facts in some sort of knowledge base. Then we are gonna implement or apply we're going to apply some of the logic on these facts to display the result. Prolog is sometimes called a rule-based language because its programs consist of a list of facts and rules. Prolog is used widely for artificial intelligence. Okay, Prolog basics. Let's talk about the basics of Prolog language. There are three basic constructs in Prolog. One of them are the facts, and the second one are the rules. Um, so, facts and rules, both of them are called clauses. Collection of these clauses are going to create a knowledge base. Um for example, here in line number one, capital city is Paris, and the line number two, capital city is Berlin, and the last one is Cairo. These are facts, and the three statements are called clauses, and is what we are gonna call the knowledge base. The third item of Prolog is the query, and the queries are the goals we're going to perform on the facts or the knowledge base to get to a result. So if, for example, we're going to say capital city Berlin as a query, this will return true as a result. Why? Because in the knowledge base, we input one of the clauses that says that capital city is Berlin. Okay, right. What if we wrote this query, capital city London? If we look for London here, we're not gonna find it. It means it's not defined in the knowledge base. So of course the result should be false. We use and run the program by writing queries. And the clause is of the form head and body. We're going to talk about this later. Note that a clause always terminates with a full stop. Look at this one here. Do not forget the full stop at the end. We're still talking about the Prolog basics. Prolog has a single data type called term. It's not like the traditional programming languages that have different data types. Here we have only one data type and it's called term. And a term can be any of the following. An atom, which is a general purpose name that's always start with a lowercase. And as an example, here capital city or Paris. So capital city is called an atom or Paris is called an atom. A term can be also a number which might be integer or float, which is a decimal point. A variable which starts with a capital letter or underscore. Like in this example here, we have capital city Paris. So Paris is a variable. A compound term or a predicate, we call it a predicate, consisting of an atom and a number of arguments. Like in this example here, city in country. Um, Between parentheses, we have Paris and France. So Paris and France are called arguments. We have two arguments here. And the compound term is city in country, and we call it sometimes predicate. Um, arity is the number of arguments, like here, capital city Paris. That means we have only one argument. So the arity here is equal to 1. Sometimes we can write it like capital city /1. The prologue is case sensitive. Task 1. Create a knowledge base. How do we create actually a knowledge base in Prolog? First of all, we have to launch the editor. Here we're going to use SWI Prolog environment. It's a free one that you can install from the internet. So launch the editor, uh, go for File, New, from the SWI Prolog, and enter the 3 clauses as below. Then save the file, which is file save buffer. Okay, and that would be the extension PL. So it should look like this. You have to write these 3 facts. These are the 3 facts we're gonna insert in that file. Let's do it practically. So I have SWI installed in my computer and I'm gonna open it. This is how it looks like. And we're gonna start by click on File, New, and then give a name for that file. Let's say exercise1.pl, and we're gonna save it in the Documents Prolog folder. Save and start type. Okay, here this is the file that will contain the facts. We start type the facts. And don't forget the don't forget the do not forget the full stop at the end of each statement. Then click on File, Save Buffer. Now we have the database stored, and we need to apply some of the queries. So how do we write the queries, and where do we write it and apply it on the file that we already saved with the facts? Um, First, you have to consult that file. That means you have to say to Prolog, this is the knowledge base that the query should be implemented on. So how do we do this one? You go back for the SWI Prolog, then go for File, Consult, and then select that file that we already created, open, and start type the command. Let's type the first command, capital city Paris. Okay, then dot and enter. This will return true as a result because Prolog consulted the knowledge base file that we already created and found one of the facts that said that yes, we have Paris as one of the capital cities. Uh, let's have another example. Capital city, and let's write Cairo and then enter true. What if we wrote a city which is not a capital, which is not stored in that file that we created? Let's say instead of Cairo, London, and press enter. This is false. Why this false? Because London haven't been defined as one of the facts in the knowledge base. Okay, now let's see how Prolog deals with variables. To be able to understand this, we have to create a knowledge base full of facts. Then we apply some of the queries that use some of the variables. So again, let's start the SWI program and create a knowledge base by going to File, New, write the name of the file. Let's name it exercise2.pl. Enter. Then we start type the facts to create the knowledge base. Let's start type the first clause, city in country, between brackets here we have Paris, comma, France. As you can notice, we write all in lowercase, and do not forget the dot or the full stop. We can just make copy and paste, then modify the names of the cities and countries. Cairo, Egypt. Then let's add another one, Munich. And Germany. Okay, let's save the file. File, save buffer. Then we go back for the program and file, consult. We select the file that contains the knowledge base. Then we start type the query commands. Okay, let's type this city in country and Paris in lowercase, comma. country in country, and the first letter C is in uppercase, and dot. What does it mean if we write a word that starts with a capital letter? Here it means this is a variable. That means which country where the city Paris is located in. So if you're gonna press enter, it should display France. Okay. So that means go for the file, consult the file, the knowledge base, and find which country is the country of Paris. Okay. What if we want to display the city instead of the country? So gonna do the same, but instead of Paris, let's say city, and here we write France. Okay. So again, the Prolog is gonna consult to the file that contains the clauses and check which city is located in France, because here we have only one city in France, which is Paris. So if we press enter, it should display Paris. And do not forget that the C is in capital, here is in uppercase. Okay. What if we did the same for Germany? Here we're gonna remove this France and type Germany. If Prolog is going to consult the file, it will find two clauses that contains the country Germany. So what will happen if we have more than one entry of Germany here in the knowledge base? Let's check it. Enter. City is equal to Berlin. Okay. To continue, just press the semicolon from the keyboard, and it will bring another city, and then it will return back to the prompt where we type a new command or a new query. So if we have more than one entry, we just press semicolon. How do I know that we have more than one entry or not? Okay, let's run the command again. If we press enter, it displays Berlin, but it didn't go for the prompt, which is the question mark dash. That means we still have another entry. So to display this, we just press the semicolon. Okay, what if we press enter? That means we do not need to display more entries for cities that are located in Germany.